to Katie Rivers Show. Today I'll be speaking on the topic, the truth about dishonesty and disunity. We as African people, we need to try to be, honest to ourselves and unite together because we can only forge ahead if we're transparent in our actions, in our businesses, and if we can actually work together as one. Okay, so with dishonesty, haven't done businesses, interact with fellow Nigerians and fellow Africans, all the feedback I get from our fellow Africans is this same complaint of dishonesty and disunity. For example, when a fellow African person is having a business, transaction with a fellow African, two Africans together, having a transaction, how do we treat ourselves? How do we respect? Are we transparent? Do we treat our fellow Africans the same way we treat the English person, or we do things differently? I'm going to give you an instance now, just an example. In 2015, to be precise, I had to use a fellow Nigerian lady. She actually said she was a minister of God. I actually trusted her. She was having an after school, you know, outlet in Erith, I think Fisher Street then, and I had to take my kids to her because I had to go for a TV presenting course, which I've booked ahead. So when I booked for that course, I had to pay her for a week upfront. I paid her. I said to her, "You have to pick my kids up." She told me all her fees, the cost of picking them from school, my daughter from school, and keeping her till 6 o'clock. And she also said, "If you are running late, please give us a call. And when you run late per hour, this is the fee you're going to pay." I said, "Fine." I told her to send everything via email so I could, communicate back via email. She said, "No, we don't do it like that. You have to come to the office." That is one trick I see they use a lot. Everything verbal, then you know when in the middle of the transaction they just make changes. Just listen and watch my experience with this lady. So I paid her upfront. The week came when I had to go for this course, and I had to, and I started I think it was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I wanted to use like Friday to tidy up house and cook. Then I'll take one of my daughters to cinema when the other one's an after school club because she had some program she needed to attend. So guess what? this this is sometimes funny, and why it really 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 amazed me is that we are in civilized world. We're in Africa. We are from Africa, but we are even in England, dealing with ourselves, and we see actions that are that are even worse than what we experience back home. It really really baffles me a lot. I worry about it a lot, and a lot of people are complaining about the same thing. And I think when we are talking about how we have been behind, Africa has been left behind. I know a lot of our people, we can complain about something, we can murmur about it, but that doesn't mean that they are ready for change. But what I'm saying is we need to face reality. We need to address our issues, our problems, our concerns honestly, and change from them, see things differently, and and also correct our mistakes for us to move forward. For this ladies after school I took my children to, I was talking to you about, do you know that when I was running late, I tried calling this woman, and internet connection in train station and all that, I couldn't get through to her. Well, then I finally took a phone. When I got, I think my battery was running down, I took a phone from a lady and I called their number, the number I have that I've been using to communicate to her. Then one of her staff picked the phone and she was saying, "Oh, I can't really hear you very well, Kate." But I told her my name and she said, "But I can't hear the rest of the things you were telling me." I said, Don't worry. I will send you a text message." And I did send her a text message. When I got there, I was waiting to pick my kids. This woman wasn't coming. Now I was thinking, oh, should I go and get my phone topped up now, because I had to charge it a bit before I got there. Top my phone up so that I could call her. But I said I don't want to miss her when she comes. So I just managed to go and top up my phone briefly. When I came back, she was still not there. I called her, she wasn't picking, and I said, what could this be? Could she have taken them to her other house? I said, okay. I looked at the, signpost, in the premise, and I looked for another number that she never gave me before. I've never used it before. That was not the number I was using to communicate with her. But I just said, let me try my luck. And I called that number. I realized that the number I've been calling her with, she has swapped it for this number. And where was she? Guess what? She took my children to the social services. She had to take my children to the social services. After I've communicated to them, telling them I'm running late and I'm on my way coming, and this is, and now I've been there now over an hour. She wasn't there. She has taken my children. Because why? She's finding a way to make business. She's complaining that the council was not patronizing her. That's what she was telling me. So if they are not patronizing you, is it my children that you now use to get patronage from the council? This is what I'm talking about. Dishonesty. And again, another thing that she even did was, before that incident, she actually left one of my kids in school. And when they called me from school that your child is in school, she's not been picked up, I was shocked. I said, no, I've made arrangement for her to be picked up. I've paid, the after school to pick up and all that. She said no, that they called her and she actually told them that she's not responsible to pick her up for that day. Unbelievable. I've seen a lot with our people. My years in England and in Ireland, I will tell you, dishonesty is a big issue with us. When we are doing our businesses, we should try to be transparent, please. Business is not an opportunity to show, wickedness or hatred towards one another. This woman, I paid 1 week full. She gave me a receipt for the service. But on Wednesday, she said to me, oh, the money I asked you to pay is not going to cover my costs. I haven't seen that before. You and I know that in this country, prices don't fluctuate for transportation every day. There are certain prices that can be fixed for a period of time. We all know that. So she gave me this quotation a week or 2 weeks before. And now she has started the service just 2 days into the service that she's providing to my kids. She's not telling me indirectly to pay my money. And I said to her, okay, because I was only going to be attending the course for 4 days. That Friday was just for me to do a little bit of tidying up and take one of my daughters to watch a movie, as I said earlier. So, and I said, okay, the last day, her last day, which is Friday, she won't attend, if that will help you to cover your cost. Because you and I, as I'm talking to you, and I've never seen when I've gone to any, English business premises or Polish or any other, from any other country since I've been abroad, and I pay for a service. After payment, after receipt, they can't call me back, or when I go there to take the service, to receive the service, and I've been told that the payment I've made is not going to cover my costs. I haven't seen it before. It's not that there was inflation overnight or anything. This is a service I've paid for. I've got my receipt. I should deserve, that service rendered. But what I'm telling you now is like a joke, but it's not a joke. It was real. She left my child in school intentionally, and they even called her. She didn't call me. She said to them, no, I'm not responsible to pick her. Whereas she has collected money to cover the entire week. You can see what I'm telling you about. As if that was not good enough, she did that. What she was expecting from that didn't happen. Now she had another opportunity, which was, when I was running late. When there are, delays and train and all that, sometimes you don't have, you can't just, skip it and to, make contact to inform wherever you've kept your children, maybe their mind or anything, which I did. But she swapped that number immediately. I contacted them that was running late. She removed that SIM card, put a different SIM, and I was calling that number for a long time. And she even ran my battery down. She wouldn't pick. Not knowing that she was looking for a favor. She was looking for a favor to pull someone down. And when she realized that that favor she thought she was going to get from the council didn't work, she actually packed her load one day and left the country now. and she moved to Abuja. And I was telling her, I said, please, now you are in Abuja doing the same business as you said. Do not do to the children, or to the families that will be bringing kids to you in Abuja what you have done in England here. Because you go there because she can sweet talk. That woman can rap. And she will, before she will even start, she will tell you she's a woman of God. Unbelievable. People who use God, God's name for just evil. They just put God's name in front for people to rely on them, and they actually see opportunity to push you down. That is what I experienced with her. She will tell you she's a woman of God. Before she start talking, she'll start telling you, how bad our people are, how she don't deal with Nigerians, because she said all sorts. So now, when I see people telling me how bad Nigerians are or how Africans are dealing with them, I actually watch them, because everyone who have told me how bad our people are here, they have actually ended up being worse. They've been worse, I'm telling you. So they contacted me and I said, listen, I've told them that I was running late. I was just coming to pay the money for the 1 hour that I was late so I could pick my kids. But I've been here now for over an hour again waiting for her. She's not here. That's unbelievable. Just imagine how dishonesty and disunity is ruining our people. Can you imagine how many people this woman would have done this to? If you look today in England, most of our children, have been, taken into care by people like this. All this kind of attitude that people are putting up here, just because they want to get one favor or they want to pull people down, they do all sorts. And I think it's unacceptable. We need to change from this. It's not going to take us anywhere. We say we have to, for us to move forward, as I'm saying here, we need to be honest. Dishonesty in our business is too rampant. If I talk to, fellow African person that want to do this, they'll tell you blah, 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 this, that, and you say, okay, fine, we agree. The next time you bring up that matter again, you want to make payments, rest assured, the price is going to be doubled. Why? And when you tell them, send me email so I could come, they don't run away from that. They run away from it. They'll say, no, don't worry now. Call me. No, just come. And recently, somebody wanted to put me in that, game again. A lady who told me about an after-school tutor, and I said, okay, where is it from? Another Nigerian. I said, no, I got the number I called. Can I get your website? Because I like to read through what you have, and I'll decide whether I want your service or not. She said, the website doesn't really have much information. How can somebody have a website with no information? He said, no, you come. I'll give you an address, you come. When you come, I said, okay, how much do you take per hour? He said, not really. I said, not really, like what? He said, depends. I said, just tell me, the prices you have. Then I'll decide which one we'll be interested in. I'm telling you. This man was going on. He wasn't coming up with any, actual word to say, this is the amount I'm taking for my service. And if you want it this way, this is how we can do it. It wasn't coming up. And I said to him, I said, listen, I have an issue at hand now when I've paid 2,800 and I was promised heaven and earth. But after I've made that payment, that was in 2016, everything that was promised, wasn't done. And that money, I didn't get it back. And I told him, I'm even actually in the process of publishing this issue in the papers. After he heard that, he said he was going to send me his address. He never sent it again. I said, better you don't send it. Because you're not going to mess around with me anymore. You cannot collect money for a service that you will not render. When I now went to, a tutoring center that is run by, foreigners, they said to me, this is what we have. Look at our website. They sent everything to me, gave me all the link. You see what you want to get. Then you have to make your decision whether you want it or not. And I was happy with their service, and I had to pay, make payments. That is how services should be run. You need to be transparent in our businesses. Those were fraudulent ads, because dishonesty, what it is being fraudulent, deceitful. That's what it is. So this is not the time of of fraudsters anymore, but you're still doing it in a different format. You're doing it in an official way in your office, making everything look, proper, but it's not actually proper. And when you see that they are not being patronized in their businesses, what they end up doing, Watch what I'm going to tell you now. Most of our African people, because of all this kind of dishonesty in business and all that, some of them, they will now go on their website and, be putting white people on their website, presenting their website as if it's owned, but their company is being run by a white person. Why would you do that? If I have my website today, I don't see any reason why I'll be putting, a white-skinned person on my website as the owner of the place when I'm the manager, I'm the MD CEO. Why would I not be proud to say it's my company? Because of this attitude, dishonesty. Dishonesty has made people to now try to, cover their business page. Actually saw one the other day. When I got there, it was all run by black people. But if you go to their website, you think these are English people. And by the time they tell me about the timing, what time, they said, no, the time is not reliable. He told me, oh, your time might come at this time, and the lesson might not be at that time. It might be at I said, okay, thank you. I need the one that we have a particular time because my son is a busy person as well. He goes to school and he does sports as well. We don't want something that we are not sure when it's going to take place. And fine, and I left. You see what I'm talking about? We need to be honest in what we do. If you want to do a business, if you want to render a service, this is your package. This is what you do. If you're giving discount, say this is your discount. Don't play games and say, oh, it's going to be like this, but in the middle of it, because it's because of you. They will tell you that it's just because of you I'm doing it. So you can add maybe another £50 just for you. Stop all this. It's messing up our business. I must tell you the truth. It's not helping us. It's not helping us as Africans. Okay? It's not going to take us anywhere. We need to be honest in our businesses. Dishonesty is not going to help us. And this disunity as well. When you are doing a business, you know, and you see a fellow, African person, or maybe someone, even if it's not African, but if it's not African, they will not do this. That's why I don't even bother talking about foreigners, because our people know how to be kind and nice to foreigners a lot, so they don't have problem with that. They will sweep the floor for the foreigners. Anything you ask them to do for you, before you request for it, they will do it for you. They will not hurt you. Trust me. So that's why I'm discussing the one that is a problem. Because you as a foreigner don't feel that, oh, why is Kate not talking about, their people being honest to us? Because of course they will. Because they know the step you're going to take. They feel that when they do it to a fellow African person, the African person is not going to take action. They're just going to complain and walk out and maybe, rain abuses on them, and that's where it ends. But I'm telling them, it's not every African person that's used to that. Just want somebody to come to your office and be shouting at you. I don't have to do that. Put everything in writing, and when you violate it, we take it forward from there. There's no need shouting and fighting. We are not animals. We're civilized people. So you should learn how to be honest. That's why emails are there. That's why you have to print receipt for people. You have to have your page well designed for people to know what you're doing and what is the cost. Don't say when you come we will talk. But when you come and you change everything you have agreed, you start denying it, and you make the person look as if he's a troublemaker. But whereas you are not transparent in your business. Okay, and unity, we need to be united. We need to be united. Because if I meet you go to a shop, for instance, to buy something for a fellow, maybe Pakistan or any person from a different country, and they don't have, they will tell me they have their brother's store somewhere. They will just point at a place or describe another shop, by another, person from their country that does the same business. They'll tell you we get some there, which is beautiful. I like it when they say that. And there was actually a day I was to buy, calling card from this man who helped me out with some direction when I, went to central London some time ago. And I said, let me buy something from this man. He has helped me even with my phone as well. I said, let me wait for him. And he wasn't coming. The other guy nearby him in the same store but a different box said to me, no, why waiting for this long? Come, let me sell to you. I said, no, I actually wanted to patronize this guy because he actually, really helped me, and I really appreciated his assistance when I came here earlier. He said to me that he said, he's my cousin. The money is going to the same purse. Oh, when he said that to me, I was like, you can see, these people came from, migrated from move from a third world country to this place, because some African people tell me that, oh, it's because of the hardship back home, that's why we're behaving like this. Please stop making excuses. You are not the only one who have come from a country that have hardship, okay? It's not about the hardship there. It's about your mindset. It's about your mentality. It's about, how you take your fellow brother or sister, fellow African. It's just your mindset, which I've told you people before that, love is disappearing amongst us, and this the same thing in dishonesty amongst ourselves is also setting us back. We need to be honest with ourselves. Someone set up a business back home in Nigeria with the brothers, and when people come to buy items, they tell their brother, no, we haven't sold today for the whole week. There's no market, nobody's coming to buy things. That they are telling us that your prices are too expensive. The brother will say, okay, you shift the price down. And they will say, oh, they're still not buying. You say, shift it down again. This man will be putting the price very low just to, not to tie his money down. But whereas his brothers have sold those items even double the price he gave them. So they are even making more profit than him, who is sweating here in England, investing the money and sending things home for them to sell. This is what I'm saying. This is dishonesty and it's bad. To your own fellow brother, these are siblings. They're setting up a business instead of working hard for the business to grow so they can employ more people and, and just get rid of poverty someday with all this. Because if we who are here have people back home who will be united, who will work with us, who will understand how things are here, that is not easy as you think. When people pick up, make up a penny here, you swear to get it, you don't pick it up easily. And when they send that money home or send things home for you to actually set up a business or to sell for them, it's not for you to, to come and be telling them stories. This man actually ended up closing the business. So when he closed that business now, what has he done? People have become unemployed as well. That is what it is. So when we start pointing fingers to talk about, okay, corruption, I agree that we've got bad leaders, but the issue we have in Africa, I'm telling you this, quote me, this is Katie Rebo speaking today, that the problems we have back home in Africa is not just about leadership. You and I have a role to play. And don't say it doesn't matter, it's not your business, and this is not for you. It is for you. It is for you. We need to work on ourselves. People will go to school, they will do everything, but when you have dealings with these people, it doesn't actually show that these people have actually gone to school and they actually want to make any change. You complain about the situation in Africa and you move to England, and you are even doing worse here. Back home in Africa, there are people you can still pay money to, and you tell them next week, I'll come and pick that item, and they will still give it to you when you come back next week. They won't ask you for your receipt because they knew when you came that they told you they will keep it for you. But here, I can't try that with any Nigerian business. I won't. Because even with my receipt, I've had issues with them. Okay? So, if you're living in Abuja and you're taking your children to after school, you better watch out and be careful. I don't know if she has changed, her ways of running her after school now, but this is my experience with her. She actually, wanted to ruin my children's future by her action. That's what I'm saying now. She's moved back home, but I pray that God touch her heart and she do things differently over there. What am I saying here? We need to be united. When your fellow brother is doing something, it's for you to encourage, not to pull people down. Because I see this selfishness thing, which I spoke about, as the second reason, one of the reasons why Africa is left behind. This thing is so strong among our people as well. And that selfishness also causes this unity among us as well. We don't unite. I went to one of the stores in Plumstead, sometime last year to get some products, and I saw this lady walked out and saw the other lady next door who is a fellow Nigerian, and you see the way she looked, the body language, everything, they didn't say hello to each other, and I was like, what? Because you are running the same business doesn't mean you have to fight yourselves. You can see the Indians, you can see the Polish people, they are together. When somebody comes to buy something from them they don't have, they will tell you, my brother has it. Can you wait? Let me go and pick it up for you. Even when we were in Nigeria going to the market to buy stuff, that is what Nigerians are doing back home as well. What has happened to, the good part we have back home, and we are walking about the, the shortcomings we have back home, then coming to England, even both and to Europe and England, both the part that we are doing well back home and the part we had problem back home, they are all now problems here. Why? Why? Back home, you can go to a shop to buy something, and if they don't have, they'll tell you sit down, because they know their fellow neighbor has that product, and they will get it from them, and they will buy, they'll sell everything to you, and they give their neighbor, their neighbor their own share later on. They do things together as well to an extent. But why are we now ruining the whole thing? Our picture, the picture that we are painting ourselves, outside Africa is even worse than what Africa is. If I didn't grow up back home, honestly speaking, if I didn't grow up back home, what I've seen in my years of Europe and in England among our people, oh my God. I told my son, I said, probably by now I would have changed my nationality. But because I know this is not how we are. This is not how true Nigerians behave. This is not how true Africans are back home. I've seen Ghanaians back home. I've seen people from other African countries back home. We don't treat each other like this back home. We don't. But when we come here, we try to, make things really seem worse. You see a fellow person, fellow African person walking past each other, or going to a place and meeting them there, they behave as if they can't even say hello. But even the English people here, who you say, oh, it's because we're in Europe, that is why we don't say hello. They say hello. So who are you copying? You're not behaving like the Nigerians back home, and you're not behaving like the English people that you've come to meet. So where are we? We need to come together. We need to be united. I'm not saying come together and say you have to go and put head together, but what I'm saying is this. You don't have to, you might not be a friend to someone, but have good, intention towards that person. Okay? The person might not be, you might not even know them. But when you see what they are doing, or you went somewhere where they are selling something, or the people who are doing businesses, and and your fellow African person have come to patronize you, treat them the same way you would treat a, respectful way that you treat a fellow English person as well. Don't treat people, shabbishly, I don't care attitude. What can they do? You just treat people shabbishly, and give them poor service, which is going to be for another day. That one is not just for Africa. I'm going to talk about that. It's a global issue. So I'm going to talk about that, very soon. But today I'm speaking about dishonesty and disunity. The truth about it is that it has actually left us behind. Believe me. It has left us behind. We need to be honest. We need to be transparent. We need to unite as one. One Africa, one Nigeria, one, human being all over the world. Be honest to yourself. There's no need telling lies to lure people into doing what they wouldn't have, done because of your dishonesty. You lure people into businesses, making them put their money, invest their money into something that is not going to materialize. You knew it from beginning, it's not going to happen, but you just want to make it look nice and, and quote it so that the person will get interested. And once the person have put in money, then you start bringing up, unfolding all the truth. That is fraudulent. That is fraudulence, okay? And it's deceitful, and we should desist from such. Thanks for watching. And next week, join me on my YouTube channel again, and my Facebook channel. Next week, I'll be rounding up this topic, why Africa is left behind. I know that we address all these issues I've discussed from day one on this topic, and by the time I round it up next week, that we will actually, move forward, because change can only come by accepting first our mistakes and working on them and forging ahead. Okay, we cannot say, oh, things have to change, because now they are made. The shocking thing that happened now among us Africans is that that is so rampant now is that we want God to do everything for us, and this is really, really shocking. God is a spirit. It's not a human being. Okay, God have what He's going to do, and we human beings have our own part. When you're not expecting God to come and do everything for you and I hope one day we will not be expecting God to come and impregnate your wife as well. All right, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel and leave your comments what you think, and don't forget to thumbs up. Thank you. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you.